Hi, my name is John Hall, and about a month ago, I finished a full playthrough of All the Mods 9, and I did really enjoy it. We're going to start with that. However, I figured I would make this video just to give my opinions on some of the changes that were made from All the Mods 8 to All the Mods 9, and to give you an idea if you're going to go out and search for a mod pack to play. Should you pick All the Mods 8, All the Mods 9, All the Mods 7, just so that you have a little bit of an idea of what you're getting into beforehand. So just for your information, I have hosted and played All the Mods 7, All the Mods 8, and All the Mods 9 servers. I played through All the Mods 8 probably 3 or 4 times, and I've done the same for All the Mods 9. And All the Mods 9 is still in a beta phase. It's not a completed mod pack yet. However, I don't expect for any of the changes that I've seen that have been put in place to change. Just to kind of establish my credibility a little bit, this is my All the Mods 9 server. We like I said, we finished the entire All the Mods star. We have everything set up in here. The only thing that's not here is the mechanism stuff that I set up in the mining dimension, because I didn't want to have that next to all of my other stuff because it can blow up and go terribly wrong. So yeah, I have really delved into the depths of All the Mods 9. I've taken a deep look at it, and so I wanted to give you my full review of All the Mods 9 to give you an idea of what you're getting into ahead of time. So the first place to start, the most logical place to start, is obviously at the beginning, getting started. What is All the Mods 9 like at the beginning? And to be honest with you, I never died through my entire All the Mods 9 playthrough, and that's not just because I was incredibly careful. It's really just because getting started in All the Mods 9, as long as you have a little bit of background knowledge, is really not that difficult. As long as you know, generally speaking, what buildings are safe to go in, what traps exist in different buildings, and where to go to really start looting, then it's really not that hard to get started. In fact, within the first 2 actual gameplay days, the first 2 streams that I did on this world, I had all the Modium armor. It really didn't take that long as far as early game progression. Most of the normal things that you fear in Minecraft as far as mobs are concerned are really just not that bad, because diamonds and decent armor are very easy to find. Getting started in All the Mods 9 was about exactly the same as getting started in All the Mods 8. The same mods exist, the same strategy is there. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time going down underground and mining and strip mining and trying to get all these resources and materials, when most of the things that you're going to need as far as what you need to stay alive, a decent sword, some solid armor, and that kind of thing, you can find by looting buildings. So there really weren't too many changes as far as getting started is concerned. However, the progression changed a little bit from All the Mods 8 to All the Mods 9. Overall, the progression for All the Mods 9 was nice. I enjoyed that there was a very solid combination of magic that you had to do, of technology that you had to figure out and learn, and a boss fight that you had to go find certain buildings and track down things for the Cataclysm mod and other mods like that. I enjoyed that there was a nice balance of mods. It wasn't super tech heavy, it wasn't super magic heavy. All the Mods 9 especially did a good job of making sure that was very balanced. However, they did introduce some changes. The biggest change as far as the progression is concerned was the introduction of smithing templates. And the smithing templates were required in order to upgrade any tools or armor from an Allthemodium level or a netherite level to Allthemodium to vibranium to unobtainium. All of those upgrades required that you had the smithing template for that upgrade, which is fine. I love the introduction of new progressions, of new content, of new things to figure out, new features to the game. I think that's fantastic. However, and this could just be that All the Mods is still in a very early stage, right? There's very little information out there about how to find these smithing templates, about what to do with the smithing templates once you have them, about the functionality revolving. Very, very little information in the game itself. If you go outside of the game, you can find all kinds of information on Reddit, and I found some good, some bad. And I ended up making several videos on how to find the smithing templates and the ores themselves, because it changed a little bit from All the Mods 8. However, overall, I felt like this was a good change. I felt like adding content and changing the progression slightly in a way that is new and fresh and switches it up a little bit, I think that's great. I think that was a fantastic addition. So again, we're going to pause there, and I'm going to say overall, I enjoyed All the Mods 9. However, there are several issues that I have with the changes that they made to the mod pack. So let's cover those. The overarching point that I'm going to try to make is that I appreciate and enjoy changes from, all the mods 8 to all the mods 9 that added content, that added functionality to the game, added new items, it spiced things up a little bit. I enjoyed that. What I didn't enjoy is the fact that the developers of the modpack very clearly felt like all the mods 8 was too easy. They felt like all the mods 8, the progression was too easy to go through, and that they felt like they needed to make it harder for all the mods 9. You can tell this because they specifically disabled functionality for items that existed in the game that they felt like made the game too easy. Give you a couple examples of that. The first example of that is using watering cans inside of routers in order to grow mystical agriculture crops quicker. In all the mods 8, this was a viable setup. You could have harvester pylons, an ender chest, and a router that housed premium watering cans, and as long as it had an activation module in it, it would activate and it would water all of the crops below it. This was a viable solution in all the mods 8. However, in all the mods 9, they turned this functionality off. And I don't mean that they changed the way it works or they made it more difficult to be able to do this, to craft the watering cans. No, they literally just included a rule in the configuration that if you're not a player, you can't use the watering can. And so in order for somebody to have this setup that I have here, they have to go all the way into the configuration and change that rule in order for this to function the same way it did in all the mods 8. Now, that may be a little nitpicky about mystical agriculture specifically, but if this was the only time that they did that, that would be fine, right? Unfortunately, it wasn't. You no longer have the ability to fly inside of the Other, which is a dimension added by the All the Mods team, or the Twilight Forest. Why? Apparently it was too easy to travel to the pyramid to get the piglitches in the Other and to finish the whole progression inside of the Twilight Forest if you had the ability to fly. So rather than changing the dynamic of either of those dimensions or making it more difficult to achieve either one of the goals in those dimensions, it just turned off flight. They didn't add any content. They didn't change the way anything works. They just turned off functionality. Now, I'll be clear, I've never developed a mod pack. I don't even know how to start. I don't even know where I would begin with that, right? What I do know is that from a player perspective, it feels kind of cheap to recognize that maybe your mod pack is a little too easy, and instead of adding content to it to make it more difficult, the vast majority of the changes you make are just to take things away from the player. In essence, instead of adding anything to your mod pack, all you're doing is nerfing the functionality of items that are in the game, part of the mods that you're using, and saying, oh, too powerful, can't do that anymore. I would so much rather see changes like the templates that are used for upgrading to, unbreakable, super powerful tools, which are a little bit overpowered and can very possibly make the mod pack too easy. I liked the fact that they added functionality that makes those more difficult to get now simply by adding content to the game rather than taking away things from the player. So as of right now, again, like I said, I enjoyed all the mods 9. I've played through it several times now and I enjoy it, and maybe some of these things will change once all the mods 9 actually gets to, a full release rather than it staying in a beta phase, which is where it's at right now. However, I don't really see anything like that happening. I feel like these changes were sort of ingrained into the concept for what they wanted all the mods 9 to look like, whether I like that or not. So overall, between all the mods 8 and all the mods 9, I would probably go with all the mods 8 just because I felt like some of the changes that they made were unnecessary. It did make the mod pack more difficult maybe, but also felt like just a cheap way to take away my ability to play the mod pack the way that I want to play it with the mods that they included in their mod pack. Again, those are just my opinions, but I do hope that this helps you and provides a little bit of insight from somebody who's already played through the mod pack so that you don't have to play through the entire thing and then figure out all of this at the end. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys.